close your eyes and imagine this. No matter what happens, disaster, aging, cosmic chance, you always wake up somewhere, somehow, still alive. The world might be slightly different, a little emptier, but you remain forever. Welcome to Quantum Immortality, one of the strangest and most unsettling implications of modern physics. Singularity Animations, where we dive into the deepest questions of science and philosophy and turn them into stories you'll never forget. Today, we explore whether you can ever truly die and what the answer says about who you really are. First, we need the many worlds interpretation, the foundation of this entire idea. In ordinary quantum mechanics, we talk about probabilities. A particle might go left or right. A photon might be absorbed or reflected. In the many worlds view, both outcomes happen. The universe's wave function doesn't collapse. It branches. Every possibility is realized, but in a separate world. Picture an infinite tree of reality, constantly splitting. Every choice, every chance event, every quantum fluctuation, each becomes a fork in the road, creating another universe. That raises a provocative question. If every possible future happens, which one do you actually experience? Here's where quantum immortality comes in. The idea suggests that if there are always branches where you remain conscious, you might only ever find yourself experiencing those branches, even when they are astronomically unlikely. Let's strip away the dangerous and morbid examples often used to illustrate this idea. Instead, imagine a harmless quantum experiment, a machine that randomly flashes a red or blue light. Every time it measures, the universe branches, red in one, blue in the other. If you only ever record the blue light results, you'd find that there are branches where this outcome happens again and again, no matter how rare it is. Quantum immortality takes this reasoning to its extreme. If remaining alive is a kind of result, then maybe you always find yourself in the branches where that result happens. But reality is not that simple. Quantum mechanics doesn't just tell us which branches exist. It gives each one a weight, called amplitude. The square of that amplitude is what we call probability. These weights matter. They are not just bookkeeping. They determine how thick or real each branch is in the grand multiverse. Physicists like Deutsch and David Wallace have shown that in the many worlds picture, a rational observer should make decisions as if these weights are the probabilities that govern their future. That mean survival branches, while they may always exist, carry less and less weight as unlikely events accumulate. This is called measured decay, the shrinking share of the multiverse in which you remain in a chosen state. You can think of it like your existence being spread thinner and thinner across a wider field of possibilities. There may always be some continuation of you somewhere, but the amount of you, your measure of consciousness, becomes vanishingly small. And this leads to a deep question of identity. When the universe splits, are all the future copies really you? Or are they new individuals who just share your memories up to the point of branching? If you treat each copy as a separate person, the guarantee that you will always survive becomes much weaker. And if you weight those copies by amplitude, as the physics suggests, you should expect to have most typical experiences, the ones in high measure branches, not the rarest, most miraculous ones. Another problem is often ignored: decoherence. Quantum coherence, the ability for systems to stay in superposition, is extremely fragile. Max Tegmark calculated decoherence times in the brain and found they are unimaginably fast, meaning the brain behaves essentially classically. In plain language, your consciousness probably doesn't exist in a neat quantum superposition long enough for this always survive scenario to work the way popularizers claim. There's also an intriguing twist. Amplitude might not just mark probability, but the amount of conscious experience associated with a branch. If that's true, then when you survive in increasingly rare branches, your consciousness is a whisper compared to what it was, like being spread thinner and thinner until barely anything remains. Add anthropic reasoning, the logic of why you find yourself where you do, and the conclusion is clear. Even if quantum immortality is technically true, the version of you that lives on forever is a ghost in the multiverse, not the thriving self you are now. So what does this mean? It means that, for all practical purposes, you should expect to live and die by the usual probabilities. Many worlds does not guarantee endless life. It simply allows us to imagine that somewhere, in some branch, your story continues a little longer. But here's why this idea is still worth thinking about. It forces us to face the mystery of what it means to be you. It asks whether continuity of consciousness depends on physics, probability, or something deeper. Picture this final scene. You wake up in your home. Everything looks familiar, yet faintly wrong. A favorite photo on the wall shows faces you don't quite recognize. The air feels thin. Days pass, and each morning more familiar details vanish. Songs sound wrong. The streets seem emptier. You're still here. You still go on. But the world around you is fading, as if the branches where your life was full have fallen away. This is the haunting side of quantum immortality. Not eternal victory, but eternal loneliness. The possibility of living forever, but in stranger, thinner worlds, losing more of what made life meaningful each day. That is why physicists and philosophers study this idea, not as a promise, but as a challenge to our understanding of existence. This was Singularity Animations, where we explore the deepest mysteries of reality and what they mean for you. If you found this fascinating, subscribe and share this video. And tell me in the comments, which idea disturbs you more? That you might die completely, or that you might live on forever in a way you wouldn't choose? Until next time, stay curious, stay thoughtful, and cherish the life you have in this branch of the multiverse.